So today we're going to be making these dragonfly earrings. I used to make them at the heritage fairs and craft fairs, you know, when I had a little stall, and they really went down really well. So please feel free to copy these and either enjoy making or enjoy wearing them. I'll make them available on my website as well. And so Andrew suggested, why not put a little kit together? So I've done that. I've put a little kit. Let's have a little look what we've got. I'll run through quickly the tools I'm going to be using. Could you use these little metal pegboards? So you would just put in a line of pegs going down and work with it flat. Or you've got this type, a little plastic one, and you put the pegs in exactly the same. You would just put them in a row. So that's all there is to it, is a row of pegs. But I'm going to use this one. This is a professional grade, a jeweller's grade, and it comes in 2 sizes of pegs and 2 sizes of holes. But when you push them in, you know, they really are firm, and you know, you could be upside down if you needed to. The drill holes don't go all the way through the back. These are the larger ones, so the pegs actually are manufactured to fit. It is a higher price point than you would normally pay for these, but once you use it, you realise why, especially with wires, because you're pulling against them, and I've had them where the pegs just fly out, and we don't want that, do we, you know? But with this one, they don't. It's solid. They're in there solid, and you need to pull them out with pliers as well after. And I'll show you now how I'm going to set it up. So I'm just going to pop this. I know you can't see it at the moment, but it all will be revealed. This is just going inside my vise. I prefer this vise because I can have it at any orientation, and that is what I'm going to be doing now. So I'm going to get the swivel head, and I'm turning it so it sits vertically like that. This is how I'm going to use it. I have a vertical row of pegs inside. So these are the row of pegs. You can use anything you want. The wire in this kit is 1mm, and I find for this project it's great. You could use anything. I just find the 1mm for earrings is nice and sturdy. If you hear lots of happy, joyful noise, it's because the children behind are having a whale of a time, and the ball could come flying over, and we could even get 2 little helpers coming in the studio to help us. But we don't mind, do we? No, of course we don't. As long as they're happy, that's the main thing. So back to what I was doing. So I've just cut myself 2 wires, 17 inches long, obviously 1, 2. I'm bringing 2 inches towards me. I'm sitting the wire on top of the first peg, and I'm bringing the wire down and over the first peg and back around. So it's just one big loop. And that's why these are so fantastic, is because it is an industrial, professional jig, wire jig, and it does make a difference. Don't get the pinging of pegs everywhere. So and next I'm going to take my wire down, and I'm going down to the 4th one, so I'm just counting 1, 2, 3, 4 and going down there. Then I'm coming back up and around, and I'm going to go down the next 3 and back and around. So that's the left side of the wings done, and then I'm going to count down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the body. Come up and around there. Then I need to mimic my wings on the right, so I'm going to go down to 3, up and around, down to 4, up and around, and then don't forget the little one on top, the first one. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to take that off, and that's all it looks like at that stage. Because it's 1mm, it'll hold its shape like that, so that's fine. Again, I'm going to do exactly the same. Rest the wire on top of the first peg. I've got about 2 inches towards me. Casey's gone to have a look to see if she can see what the children are doing now. Anything for attention. So yeah, so the wire's over the top of that first peg. I bring it around and there's my first loop done. I come down to number 4, the 4th one along, up and over with that one. I'm coming back to 3. That's my left side of the wings done. Down to 6 for the body. Back up to 3 for the right side of the wings. Down to 4. And then don't forget the little twist at the end. And that can come off. So we've got 2 of those. And we don't need this now, so I'm just going to pop this away. You see how easy and quick that was. Just pop that away. We can bring in our bits and pieces here. So I'm going to get the first set of twists, and you'll have one slightly shorter than the other. So the longest side, we're just going to pop on a bead, and I've chosen crystals for 2 purposes. They've got nice big holes so you can get 1mm wire through, but also you'll see in a minute they have quite a lot of strain put on them and they don't fracture like the gemstones would. So I've put this crystal on, I've just lifted him up, and he's going to go all the way around down through the centre of all those wires. So all I've done is got the bead on, I've got the wire going all the way through everything, through the centre, and I'm just going to pull and pull and pull like that till we've got that sort of effect. Then I'm going to bring my right to my left side up. My wires, I'm just bringing my wires up to the right and left, and there's like, you know, a cross in the centre. I'm taking my flat nose pliers and coming down, grabbing hold of where they cross over, and then I'm just going to twist the whole thing. I'm going to twist all those wires twice if you can, and that now is just locked everything in place. We don't need this little tail wire now, so we can pop him off. I'm just tidying up my top bit there. We're going to take this first loop, the wing, and we're going to twist him up. We're going to take the one on the other side and that one goes down, so one goes up, one goes down. We're going to go back to the right hand side and just twist that one back. So I've just twisted that one back, and then we're going to go to this one and just twist that one as well into place. So that's what we look like so far. Still lots of loops. This bottom loop here, I'm just going to grasp a hold of the very end of that with my flat nose pliers. I'm going to grab hold of the dragonfly's head, the bead, and we're going to twist. So I'm twisting the head, the crystal, around whilst holding the pliers firmly in place. About, I don't know, 6 twists, something like that, until we get that. I'm a little bit distorted up here now, but that's okay. We're going to sort that out. Next is come back up here and let's shape those wings. So I've got my round nose pliers just going in, I'm opening up the wings and doing little flicks here and there, twists of the wire, just to give it a little bit of definition. Decide, you know, how you want the wings. So I've done the top two. The bottom two usually look quite nice if you flick them in a downward sort of motion with your hand, and then we can just move those back into position like that. I'm happy with that. The next thing we're going to do is bring in our hammer, and our, I think it's called the PN hammer, and we're just going to use the rounded end to strike the wings, just gently striking the wings. This is a 1mm wire, so we're able to flatten it out a bit, and I do think it looks much nicer. Bit of texture on it, and it's a bit flatter. Also, when you're doing this, it does tend to curve them out a bit. I don't know if you can see, this one here is curved out a bit, and I think that's a nice added bonus. So I'm just tapping just the wings, nothing else. Bead gets in the way, just move it to one side of your block or your piece of wood, whatever you're hammering on. And that's where I am now. I'm just gonna, I can see I'd like a little bit more hammer on the ends. I like them flatter on the ends. And then a little bit of that curve going in. So that's where we are. So now we're going to go for the body bit here. I'm going to use the flat part of the hammer. I'm not going to hit down. I'm going to do a striking motion, like you're caressing it, you know, like a caressing movement rather than a hammer, hammer, hammer. And what that does is it'll help for the wires not to fracture, because we're metal on metal on metal. You can, where they've twisted and crossed one another, they can fracture there. But if you were doing this sort of motion, like a strike and slide, the wires flatten, but you don't get the fracture points that you do normally. I'm just going to end it with a little bit of the PN, just a tiny bit, and all that is doing is giving me that curve, but not too much. And that's where I am now, which I think is rather cute. In for the round nose pliers, going in. I'm just doing a wrap loop, just doing a wrap loop. Just checking against the other one, the neck of the wrap loop. I think that's okay. You know, you don't want like 2 wraps on another and 3 on another, because then they're not gonna look right and they're not gonna sit right either. Just going to do snippy snip snips, catch that end piece of wire, flatten him in like that, and we're having the orientation that way. Yeah, I think they're going to be really cute. I've got my little E wire, I'm opening up that little door, so it's just where it goes round into the loop. You just open it like you would a jump ring, which is like a door. Pop that on. Well, I would pop it on if I could see. I've got my glasses on my head, have I? Yeah. Oh dear dear. Okie doke. There we go. Close that up. Just give it a little look. Make sure you're happy with where it is. I think one of the wings could have been... One of the rings is a little droopy. I probably would just go in there, that wire up. Yeah, that's better. So let's just pop these on a little stand. Yeah, I think they're pretty decent. And they sit in the ear so lovely as well. And they move about, they're really articulated, and they're great fun to make. So here they are, two little Dancing Dragonfly earrings. And look how well they catch that light. So I really hope you enjoyed this make. Please just like, subscribe, and look out for also my studio vlog. So I'm a working jeweller and jewellery maker, so there's lots to share in my studio vlogs as well. Thank you for joining me.